Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube, Diggy546? Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So I definitely had to go ahead and get an Eagles video out this week before the game this Thursday. And this should be a very close game. I expected this to be a pretty low scoring game, as far as not anybody hitting 30 or anything like that. Division rival, they've dominated us for years. It's like the record is like ridiculous. They're 21-2 or 22-2 over the last 24 games. So they've completely dominated us forever. Like it's been forever since we've been able to put together any kind of a streak against this team. And I wanted to go break this game down. This will be my probably most in-depth breakdown so far this season because this is the most important game this season. So first off, they have Carson Wentz, and he's not having the best year this year. He's at 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns throwing, 4 touchdowns rushing, which is pretty good for this early in the season, and then 9 interceptions, which has been the big thing. He's had 3 fumbles. I'm not sure about how many of those fumbles were lost, but he's had 3 fumbles in the pocket and then 2 rushing. Eagles fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I see 3 passing fumbles and 2 rushing fumbles. He has been sacked 25 times, and the most he's ever been sacked in his career was 37, and we're not even halfway through the season so far. So this is a really bad season so far for this Eagles offensive line. They've been really teeing off on Carson Wentz, and he's been sacked the most times in the league this year. When you think about all the injuries on their offensive line, you also have to take into account the fact that he's going to be missing 2 of his favorite weapons. Dallas Goedert is already out. Zach Ertz is out, and Miles Sanders will be out this game. So those are 3 of his go-to safety blanket type of targets. They're not going to be playing in this game. Like, this is a huge disadvantage for the Eagles coming into this game. Miles Sanders had over 100 yards last game, and now he's not going to be playing this week. On a short week coming off of a disappointing loss against Baltimore, you would definitely want to have all of your safety valves with you. But Giants fans, don't get too comfortable because I'm sure you all remember the name Boston Scott. I actually looked into his stats against the Giants last year. So I wanted to run through his stats real quick, line by line, to see what he did against us last game. He was very dominant last year and a huge part of why they actually ended up winning that game, both games against us last season. So I'll go line by line. 29 attempts for 113 yards, which isn't too crazy at 3.9 yards per carry, 4 rushing touchdowns, and 10 receptions on 12 targets for 153 yards. So for a running back, that is spectacular. Going up against our defense last year, we had tons of trouble covering running backs, and that is about 260 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. I would say that's pretty good for 2 games. So Giants fans, I would not get too comfortable seeing Miles Sanders out and expecting us to not have to deal with another threat that's coming in and is a very similar player to him. Not as good, but very similar. Also, Desean Jackson looks like he's coming back, and we know what he does every time he goes against the Giants. He seems to make a play every single time that is just a killer. Travis Fulgham has stepped up as a dominant receiver in the last couple of weeks, and he's a big body receiver, but I'm actually not too worried about him because I expect James Bradberry to carry him. He's pretty much the best matchup we have against that type of a receiver. He's played against Allen Robinson. He has experience playing in that NFC South against all those big, tall receivers, and he did a pretty good job against DeAndre Hopkins last year. So I expect him to match up against Travis Fulgham and pretty much neutralize him because it's not even a bold thing at this point. He's done it pretty much all year. So the X factor is pretty much going to be Desean Jackson and how we manage him not beating us with these plays down the field. Because if you leave him one-on-one and you don't put anybody over the top, that's more than often going to be a touchdown. And we don't want to give the Eagles momentum and let them get up in this game because their defensive line is serious. So the Eagles defensive line this year, they are very good at getting to the quarterback. They are, I think, top 5 in sacks. So they're very good at pass rush, and that's what's holding this team together. I mean, they have 1 win and a tie, but they would be much worse without that pass rush that they have. They've been getting sacks consistently, so Daniel Jones is going to have to hold on to the ball because we know the Giants are in this division and we're pretty much all around the same as far as how good the teams are, it looks like right now. So if we turn the ball over, that gives them more chances to score. So as far as our offense goes, I expect Daniel Jones to continue to run the ball more. If Sterling Shepard comes back, that'll be a huge addition to definitely help us on third down, which I'll go into the situational stats in just a bit. But I expect Daniel Jones to run the ball more. I expect him, if Shepard is there, to be an immediate impact. And I expect that to open up things for Darius Slayton and the rest of the entire receiving core, including Evan Ingram and Golden Tate. If Shepard is there and he's healthy and he's commanding the coverage that he deserves, then that's going to open up things for a lot of other receivers on the Giants. Shepard being back will also open up things even more for Devontae Freeman, who's been running very decisively. He's been running tough. And even though we're not even averaging, I don't think, 4 yards a carry the last couple of weeks, we've been getting yards and we have been staying ahead of the chains. So I expect us to continue to do that. And that starts with opening things up with the passing game and letting Devontae Freeman continue to be decisive and find the holes that have been there. And we're not going against that vaunted of a run defense, as the Eagles are giving up just over 4 yards a carry and 125 yards a game, so they can be had. Next, I wanted to cover the situational stats, so that'll include third down, fourth down, and red zone for both teams. Start off on third down, the Giants are converting 45% of the third downs, and they're giving up 54% of opponent third downs. And the Eagles are completing 45% of their third downs, but they're only giving up 43% of opponent third downs. So that seems to be something that goes into the Eagles' favor. They have been a lot more stingy as far as getting off the field on their defense, and that's probably because they're able to get to the passer just a little bit better than we can. So fourth down is a huge advantage. Doug Peterson is known for being aggressive, known for being out of the box, and we're giving up 100% on fourth down. Guys, I know it probably felt like this, but you probably didn't expect this stat. We're giving up 100% on fourth down. We're 5 for 5 as far as giving up fourth downs. And the Eagles are giving up 50% at 2 for 4. So these are around the same amount of attempts, pretty much one as the difference. And we're giving up 100% and they're giving up 50%. Look for teams to continue to be aggressive on fourth down, just like how Ron Rivera was last week. And we're going to have to step up, or else teams will continue to see fourth and short and say, this team cannot get off the field. And they'll continue to exploit that until we stop it. The positives, though, are that the Giants are 6 for 8 in converting fourth downs, and the Eagles are only 3 for 9. So the Giants, more often than not, have been able to pick up fourth down when they've gone for it, and the Eagles, not so much. So I expect the Giants to be more aggressive. We had a couple of times last week where I felt we should have gone for it on fourth down, so maybe we'll see that this week. This is like a game-changing down. If you don't convert this down, it's a turnover. So I expect at least one of these teams to be in the situation where they're going to go for it. And then finally, this is where you make your money. I actually found an interesting stat. Daniel Jones has 32 passing attempts in the red zone, which is 4th in the league, which shows you we're getting into the red zone a lot, whether that be because of a turnover, whether that be because special teams, or just simply our offense getting down the field. So he's 4th in passing attempts in the red zone, which shows you he's there a lot. But the Giants are 25% in the red zone. That is atrocious. The only team worse than us in the red zone is the Jets. And if we don't improve on that, that is the reason why people are picking the Eagles to win 20-17, 24-20, because if you can't convert in the red zone, it is very difficult to score points. The Eagles, Carson Wentz has 27 passing attempts in the red zone, so they're getting there pretty often too, but they are 75% in the red zone, and they were 100% against the Ravens this past week. So the Giants have got to be able to step up and try to keep this team out of the red zone first of all, and then they have to be able to execute on offense to be able to get into the red zone and to score, because that's the reason why you're seeing the team put up 16 points a game. They're not able to score once they're getting into the red zone, and I blame that on Jason Garrett. He runs a play that makes you just say, why did he do that? because it's like a wasted down. Like last week, Devontae Freeman, you throw him a screen in the middle of the field and it's basically unblocked and he gets tackled immediately. And we're already down 5 yards to start that attempt. So overall, the Eagles seem to have the situational advantage in this game, and the Giants seem to have the advantage as far as they're missing players. We're coming off of a win. We're coming in hot. We have the potential with Sterling Shepard returning to be able to turn the corner. But as far as situational stats and pass rush, this game will be won on these money downs. Like I said, the situational times, and it'll be won in the trenches. Last week, we were able to beat Washington because we were able to block that ferocious pass rush. If we can't do that against the Eagles, we're going to lose. If we can, then we should win this game. And without turnovers, we should win this game pretty comfortably. Not a blowout, but pretty comfortably. But if we turn the ball over and we give up sacks and, Daniel Jones is throwing the ball all over the place, we can very easily lose this game. This is a very decisive game in this division. This will put us at 2 wins, which is tied with the Cowboys, which will put us in second place. And we need to go out and win it. In the last 24 games, we've won 22 of them. So let's go out this week and get a win. Let's get a win tomorrow. Let them put on their all blacks with their fans in the stadium. They've already been fighting. Let them put on their all black uniforms and let's go out and finally break the curse. So if you made it this deep into the video, definitely hit that subscribe button. I make Giants content, NFL content, so all NFL fans are welcome here. And until next time, it's Diggy546, and I'm out.